Everybody, it's David and Krista with Innovative Improv Solutions again. Hi, Krista.
Hello.
Hey, guess what I want to talk about today?
I have no idea
Well,
what.
yeah, maybe play. Let's talk a little bit about play.
Okay.
See, I was playing with you there a little bit. Uh, so obviously we had talked a little bit about what we're going to talk about, everybody. Um, but in this world right now that feels, it can feel a bit uncertain. Certainly a little bit. Certainly in the workplace, your home life, everything, just in general, things can feel a little unsettling. Um, so, Krista and I thought we'd talk a little bit about the importance of play in the workplace because it is. Uh, Krista's going to rattle off some kind of cool things, some cool studies right now, or whatever she chooses to.
So, yeah, for those of you who like the statistics and the proof, because we've often heard we just don't understand how people learn so much because they just seem to be laughing through your workshops all the time. Um,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna look away. This is what we learned about listening, so I
Mhm.
can read some of these things to you guys. Um, so LinkedIn actually conducted a survey of 90 that said 90% of professionals said they perform better at work when they take breaks and do things at work that are fun, creative activities. The World Health Organization acknowledges that play in the workplace can contribute to a 25% reduction in burnout. Many people, a couple of different studies I found said that on average, people are 20% more productive after a creative session than they were before. And the fun one that I just found, the two last ones that I'll say is one was a Zippia survey that found that 58% of employees believe that fun team building activities improve communication and help resolve conflicts faster. And then
Mm.
the Gallup State of Global Workplace report found that employees that describe their workplaces as fun are 44% more likely to stay at their jobs for 5+ years. And for anybody who's listened to me talk at all, I will always talk about how retention is a budget booster that you will
Mm.
always that you there's more money in recruiting and retraining than there is in retaining. So those types of statistics I love to see that people who are feel like their workplace is fun, they hang out longer.
Yeah, it makes me think about the companies we've walked into where they have like a room with a ping pong table and other games, maybe the basketball, the carnival basketball game,
Mhm.
sometimes that's in there, or they have basketball courts or whatever the case may be. And that's great for the workplace in itself, but also if I think there's totally a place, obviously, for trainings and workshops where people have, there's PowerPoint and you're learning something kind of heavy and you really have to take notes and all that stuff. But I also think um, some of those things that you just listed are so important. Conflict resolution between employees, creativity, brainstorming. If play really can play that big of a part of into it, that to me is why our workshops really stick. They're experiential,
Mhm.
and so you get to feel what's going on in the realm of communication, connection, and you're going to laugh a lot. Um, and I think that plays beautifully into what you just talked about.
I think too, David, that they're humanizing. And I think that is, maybe the number one thing that we're fighting against with modern technology is just remembering the human on the other side of whatever it is, the meeting, the conflict, the Zoom room, whatever it is. I think when you look at everything that's happening in this world, everything, um, so much of it is because we forget that the other person on the other side of whatever the issue problem um, it's that we forget that they're just as human as we are.
So,
And
it's so true.
so
Yeah.
so I think laughter, like there's, when you look at some of those things that bring people together, no matter where they are from, laughter, sports, there's a couple of things that, there was that really great study, and I'm so sorry, I don't even know who did this study, but they were talking about how visually we all, like humans will all do the same thing, no matter what language you speak, no matter what culture you're from. And like one of them is when you win, everyone goes, ah, and puts their hands up. and so there's things that we do, and that often, and they can tell that through sport, but there's things that we do that are so connective, and laughing is one of them.
Yeah. Well, yeah, in our workshops in the very beginning, we do these exercises where we just get people comfortable. Because of course, when they hear the word improv or it's rooted in improv exercises or ideas, right? People are nervous, and that makes complete sense. But it doesn't take long to get people laughing and get them, and you can just feel the energy shift in the room to a place of, oh, and very receptive. Um, I love what you said too about the technology, because it is about, I think we're forgetting so much about humans in
Mhm.
this world. And I was sharing with you earlier, there was an article in Time magazine, can't remember the year, but I think it was at least 20 years ago. The cover story for Time magazine was the technology that we have right now, the human brain is not meant to keep up with it. That was 20 years ago. Things are moving crazy fast now. And technology is changing and what's
Yeah.
the exponentially on itself so
Well,
quickly
and so are the expectations,
now.
right? Like it used to be that we had that someone would say, if I send something to you, get back to, think about it, digest it, get back to me in a few days or a week or whatever. Now it's sort of like, I
Yeah.
texted you, it's been 30 seconds. Where's the response? I saw you read it.
You know what I say to people too?
So,
Emails are like, imagine the postal worker coming by your house
yeah,
every minute,
right, right.
putting mail into your mailbox.
Uh,
Because that's
yeah,
the way we used to do stuff. The mail would come,
yeah,
even in companies, the mail would come and then we'd open the mail.
right.
Um, So things have moved so quickly. So I think it's important when we are learning now to try to get back to that human element.
Hmm.
If you're doing it in a way of playing and connection and because at the end of the day, whether, like you said, whether you're on Zoom, whether you're on the phone, whether you're face to face, you still have to know how to connect with another human being and do it in a way that's effective and they feel heard and seen.
Yeah.
And, also have some play around brainstorming and problem solving and some fun, which our workshops can provide to help with that learning process.
Yeah, and David, we do a lot of these, events where people will bring the company, a global company, in to do like a 3 or 4 day training or just, a series of different things. It's so fun to bring us in sort of at the top because, one of these statistics that I think I may have read off was about how, people are 20% more productive after they do something. So like laugh and do a team building type of a thing. So imagine like starting us off, you start off with us, and then now you've got people who are really, they've ratcheted up their listening. It's high on their priority level, sort of in terms of wanting to contribute and partner and all of that. And then on top of it, you've now humanized that team. So we see it all the time. I love it. I love when someone's like, we'll do an exercise and say someone says, oh, and I played the saxophone in high school, and someone goes, oh, I was in the band in high school, and now all of a sudden, two people who work in different parts of the country or across the world have something they can talk about. And so we're a great addition to one of those offsites in the beginning spot.
Yeah, because I think it really sets them up for success for the rest of the offsite, if you will, or if it's on site, because now they're really connected. I think they also feel very appreciated by their employer. Wow, they brought something in like that.
Yeah.
What a great way to kick us off. They understand it, they see the value of it. We don't have to talk about it, right? And then it gets them in that place of really connecting more and being more willing, I think, to connect more and share more and feel that they can trust the process. Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And ultimately, when we leave one of those groups and they've laughed until they've cried, or they are screaming with excitement, or they have stepped into an exercise and have just done it with 100% commitment in a way that is so fun for everybody to be a part of. It it is, you know, you can really the it's like you can feel the electricity in the room shift.
Yeah.
And I think we leave those groups. I mean, clearly we've had clients that we've worked with for 18 years. We leave those groups really in a good place where uh, they feel ready to tackle something new. They're open to new things. They can't wait to have lunch together and learn more about each other. Like it really is some cool stuff. All because we
Sounds,
played. All because we played. Silly
yeah.
games, silly little games.
Yeah. And I think because we do play that, it starts, we start kind of easy and then it progressively gets a little more difficult and challenging, which they want, right?
Yeah.
They surprise each other and they start laughing at what each other is doing, not laughing at the people, but laughing because they're starting to connect more, listen better, build a story out of nothing. And they're like, how did that happen?
Yeah.
Right. And they get to see each other in a different light. So kind of like your point to the saxophone, right? I did
Yeah.
one time where somebody stood up and they go, I was the night something like I was the 1996 accordion national champion,
Oh,
accordion
fun.
player.
Oh, fun. Well, and I will just say also, if you have a group where someone is like the comptroller or someone that maybe has the job that to always is to say no, it is so
Right.
fun for them to show people their human side too. And you know, we've had a couple of the people who are like the accountants or whatever, and then when they get to let loose, I think it's really good for them. I think it's really good for them to be seen as not always the person who is, you know, doing the heavier part of
Right.
the nose on a job, but that they're playful too. And I think that's really good for everybody. To see again, it's all about being humans.
And I think it's really important just to realize for just so you all know, right, with our company, you do not have to be an actor, you don't have to be an improviser, you don't have to be funny. The workshops, yes, we're using improv exercises, but they're just all they are is this mechanism,
Yeah,
and they're working on that communication, connection, and uh, that improv. It's not about acting at all. Even when you train actors in improv, it really isn't about acting. It's about
right,
much more connection.
right. All right. I think that's all the time we have for today. So
Let's go play.
get out there and play. All
I
right.
was going to build a snowman, but our snow melted.
Oh, next time.
Next time.